Okay, hi Canon, it's Neo here. I have watched some of your first Pharah VOD. I'm experiencing some network issues at the moment, so if you see some stutters, just ignore them. But I want to try and talk about fuel management because just watching it, I feel like that's probably the biggest thing that can help you. So let's say we get out of the gates here and we boost ourselves out. I want us to try and do a few things, and that's one, use your hover jets, so just your spacebar, to get to high places, and then from there, when we're already at a high place, I want us to then boost, and I want you to make sure you are not holding your hover jets when you boost. This is like a pretty classic mistake, so let us run out of fuel. And if we're holding space when we boost, we don't really get any fuel back. We get some air, but not really. Versus if we don't hold space, let me try and use most of my fuel here. When we do it, we get our fuel back, so then we can try and stay at this height. Does that make sense? So make sure you aren't holding space when you boost up. Another thing is, I'm pretty sure you're already doing this, you're tapping space instead of holding space as much as possible. And then I also want you to think about when your fuel is a little low, perching at a high spot and then keep going. So it's really best to try and boost up to a high spot, let your fuel recharge, and then stay up there. And then again, when your fuel gets low again, from that spot you can boost without holding space and you'll have full fuel again. So that way you can really maximize your airtime. I want you to try to practice this in this practice range in particular. And then from there, this will really help increase your uptime. So when you aren't in the air, I want you to be in a high place, not on the ground. Okay, let's watch the VOD. We're watching Junkertown is the one I watched a little bit of. We might watch a few VODs because I noticed you sent me several Pharah VOD, or you've sent several Pharah VODs. Okay, so quick comp check. Normally if we have a Mercy, it's home free. We don't have to worry about healing. It's nice. Less so at Bronze 5 because the Mercies don't realize how strong a Pharah is, especially with splash damage. But this healer comp is probably the next best thing if you don't have a Mercy. Both Lifeweaver and Ana can heal you quite easily. If you were running something like a Baptiste or Lucio, you would need to you need to worry about getting healed a little bit more. But luckily Lifeweaver and Ana are pretty good composition to heal you. Like, I think they're actually probably second best next to Mercy.
3, 2, 1.
So let's see. Your sense seems a little bit high immediately. So from here, I'm gonna talk about fuel again. I want us to try and avoid playing main. So I don't want us to play here. I want us to play around this roof right here at the beginning. I also want to take a second to look at their comp now that we've come out the gates and we've seen it. It's going to be a little bit harder for you to kill several people. The hardest person for you to kill will obviously be Ball. You are not a Ball counter. The next hardest will be Genji. But luckily, he will also have a hard time killing you. So this is kind of a neutral threat. And Baptiste is probably the next hardest for you to kill because he can jump on basically cooldown. And his abilities are pretty decent to counter you. So when I'm Pharah and I see these two are my main targets, especially her. Ana, it has very low mobility. She has to basically hard scope in order to kill you, which makes her mobility even less than it already is. So when I start seeing the enemy comp, there are two things I think about when I see this, and it's one, I need to find and kill the turret because that's the only thing on this team that will consistently hit me. And then the next thing is, after I kill the turret, I want to find the Ana, and I want to just put pressure on her. The good thing is, since Pharah does splash damage, you don't always have to hit her. You can hit all the way around her. I want you to be aiming for her feet, and I want you to target her first. Generally, Ana is a pretty good target. If she hits you once, I want you to go and get healing. Because as you are where you are, she's gonna try and hit you twice, and then if she hits you a third time, or if anybody else has hit you, you're dead. So if she hits you once, I want you to disengage and get healing. So the ball is kind of just a bait here. I wouldn't worry about him. So what I really want us doing is I want us up here. And then you can kind of use this roof to keep height. If your fuel management gets low, you can stand right here. And then you can kind of pop up this way and then put pressure on this Ana or that Baptiste. Don't worry about the ball. He's not your problem. I like the shots on the Ana. I understand. He's just like a little, he's like a fly. I like that. Good direct hit on him. But I want to see, we have a really free angle on the Ana right there. So we could try and get her. We need to fall down. Yeah. So if we play closer into our team when we're low like this, it's easier for us to get healed. And it's also easy for our team to tank some shots from whoever is shooting us versus if we're really high up in the air with no cover, it's much harder for us to get healed. And now we're in a really scary position. So I also want us to think about using Concussive Blast for mobility. I find that we aren't using it too much, so that could mean like when we were against this roof, I kind of wanted us to Concussive Blast like out this way. And that way we can try and play further from the Genji and move more erratically that he's not expecting. And then we could also try and lay some shots down main. Obviously, it's going to be hard with the Genji pressuring us. But I really want us to use Concussive Blast for mobility a little bit more. Even right here, we could go down to the ground and boost forward. Yeah. Because that move doesn't do too much for us versus mobility would make it harder for them to hit us. So let's go on next. Concussive Blast out here. So here I want us playing more natural cover, and I want us playing a little bit off of main. So main is the cart path. It's where all our teammates will be. And it's very easy when you're the enemy team to look, to be staring main and then, oh, you're there. Versus if you're like over here and you're playing this angle. Kobe talks about this a lot, and it's like primary threat angle. If you come here, you're now throwing some of their resources over here. And if they pressure you, you can just kind of hide again over here. So this would be nice to get you some shots on the Ana or the BAP or the Torb, and then it's also easy for you to try and come back. Oops. Oh, yeah, we need to go get healed. Just ask for healing. What's kind of nice is with Lifeweaver, and I was talking about, like, as the little bird, you want to perch on the high grounds. He kind of creates little perches for you. Like, this is the highest perch you could have gotten. So if you ever see here, like, a Lifeweaver pedal, don't be afraid to stand on it, refill your fuel, and then go up again. Don't stand on it for too long, especially at higher elos. You'll just get sniped. But just kind of know when you hear that, that means that there's an extra high ground for you as your little bird self to perch on. I like you trying to boof him off the high ground there, and I like this kill a lot. So now we have a free kill, and I want us to go look for the Ana. Really try and prioritize supports, and by that, there are also very specific supports I want you to prioritize. It's much, much harder for you as Pharah to kill a Baptiste or a Moira or a Lucio, but it's really, really easy for you to kill Ana, to kill Brigitte, to kill Zenyatta. Just the heroes without mobility. And you could say like, oh, Brig has bash, she has mobility, but the reality is she doesn't have anything that can hit you, versus even if you're picking an Ana, there's a chance she can hit you. So, and like a Mercy can be hard to kill, but she's not as hard as say like a Lucio. So I really want us to try and think about targeting supports, and also always kill this turret. So it took us a little bit second to notice that. I would still, so if you just, let me pause. So we were over here. If we're just here and we just quick peek the turret and then shoot, it will do less damage to us than what we did, which was a little bit a wider peek, and we could have killed it. I like us retreating from the ball. People underestimate him a lot. but it's just not our job to shoot at him because how fast he moves and the fact that we are playing a projectile hero, it's very, very hard to kill him. Oh gosh. Okay. I'm a little scared here, and obviously it happens. So we need to remember that this tree is essentially a wall, so that's why we take damage here, because this tree is a wall. I do like us trying to get these shots, but we can hear the turret hitting us, which is also a threat. So that's kind of what does the most amount of damage to us, is that turret. They've also switched off of Genji and they're onto Ashe now, so they do have a hit scan that can try and kill you. Ashe, luckily, is still a pretty easy target to kill as Pharah, considering she only has a like 12-second cooldown mobility ability. Oh yeah, I wouldn't peek Bob if you can avoid it. And then honestly, I would just blast back and try and wait for our team. Yeah, oh, we have a Mercy now too. This is good. I really want us using our Concussive Blast for mobility. And also, we should have tried to pick up our Mercy right there. So higher elo Mercies will definitely try and stick with you as much as possible when you're on Pharah. Nice, easy kill here. Nice. I really want us concussive blasting for mobility. I think that'll instantly increase your uptime a lot. So I will show you in a practice range what I mean if you cap this. So this is a hard shot for you to hit. Don't worry about it too much. Nice, that. I like where we're positioned here. Nice. Get the lamp first. And then, yep, BAP is killed. But when we see that, and we're in that kind of position, we kill the BAP first, we have good visual on the Ana. I really like playing right here. Careful of the minefield. This is what I mean by perching. That's really nice. And then we can shift up. Ooh, careful of minefield. Focus the Ana. Nice. I would barrage the ball in all honesty. This is a good barrage. Nice try. Okay, so if you cap this, I'm gonna go back to the practice range. Okay, you guys capped. This is at 5 minutes 47. So what I mean when I'm saying like I want you using your concussive blast for mobility is like stuff like when you get out of spawn, just boosting yourself away like that. My game a little stuttered there, so it's unfortunate, but a lot of times people talk about like looking straight down and you do it, you'll also go forward. But I like just turning so that way I know I get it right 100% of the time. So if I'm in a tight situation, let's say I'm trying to kill the enemies here. Oh my gosh, my game. I can just like boost away if they pressure me too hard, and I can do stuff like that. And so I really want us thinking about, okay, how can I like blast myself to get myself in a better position? It's actually shocking how my game has lagged every single time I've blasted, but it is what it is. I hope you get what I'm trying to say here, that I really want us to like, sometimes it's blasting in so we can get more aggressive from like a different angle than they're expecting. It's like stuff like that. Okay? So I really want you to use this and think about being mobile, and you're mobile in a very fast way that a lot of the times the enemies aren't expecting because you're just suddenly there. So sometimes you can boost yourself in, sometimes you can boost yourself left or right. You know, sometimes it just works. Another thing I want us to do, and it looks like you're almost already doing it. That'd be so great if my game wasn't doing this, but oh well. So we have barrage now, right? So the way barrage works is a lot of it is splash damage. Like that direct hit damage does is a lot harder to do with barrage than people like really think it is. So when you barrage, I kind of like being at about probably this range. And then I want you to fire 1 shot before you barrage. So like that. You do a lot extra damage if you fire 1 shot before you barrage. So get in a good habit of shot barrage. Okay. Let's go back. We were at 547.
Ready for battle.
So like here, I would, it's nice that our Mercy finally decided to come to us. I would even considering, so we're like here boosting over this way, and then we could be like up here-ish, to try and get shots on the Brig or the Soldier or the Ashe. The only problem is if we do this, it's much harder for us to get out because our team's not ready. But even if you could try and stay right here on this rooftop, it's much harder for their hit scan to see you from this angle. So that's what it's just stuff like that.
Excellent teamwork.
My ultimate is ready.
Yeah. What's nice about Pharah is she is like, her mobility is very good on both the X axis and the Y axis. Meaning that she has very good mobility left to right and up and down. I like the shots on the Brig. Don't lose her. Stay on the Brig. Stay on the Brig. She just bashed in. She's very easy kill. She died, luckily. We know where the Ana is. We can try and get her. And that's what I mean, too. Like, right here, we could have, like, boosted in, and then we're increasing our uptime even faster. Nice shots. Nice. I wouldn't worry too much about the ball. I would start staging for the next part, because it's just going to be so hard for us to kill him. So I would try and stay right here. So that way, because you know they're coming out from here. So we could try and kill them right here. Or if they come from this way, we could try and be up and then shoot them from over here. So I would just start looking at the next spot, trying to kill stragglers, because it's going to be too hard for us to kill the ball. And we have a bunch of people who are a lot better at it. Like Reaper is better at it. Ramatra is better at it. See, like this. I like this. You can clear out the minefields a little bit here. It's not the worst. Nice. Ooh, okay. This is scary for us as a Pharah. So Soldier's ult is a huge counter for us. So if we think he's close to it, we want to just try and stay closer to natural cover, because we can almost like bait him. Like, it's kind of unfortunate he ulted the second we boosted out, but if we were still like right here, it'd have been much harder for him to kill us. Luckily they used a bunch of ults, so your team would have died here anyway, even if you did play safer, and it is kind of our job to just die right there. But they just used 4 ults, because they used minefield, so this should be a nice team win for us next time.
60 seconds remaining.
Shake it off.
So this I one is boosting out of spawn, or concussive blasting out of spawn. And we can get some nice splash damage here. Yeah, make sure you're aiming for people's feet. Splash damage is very strong. Oh, that's unfortunate. Your team gets another push here, though, if they reset quickly.
30 seconds remaining.
This is going to be very, very hard to push into as a Pharah player with both an Ashe and a Soldier. I do think at this elo, you can definitely still do it. I mean, there's a Pharah player right now who was, I don't know if he still is right at this moment, #1 on the leaderboard in every single region, and it's the same person.
Excellent teamwork.
So what happened there? Did we lose all our fuel?
10 seconds.
No, we still had fuel. We could have stayed up there. I kind of like staying up there if we can. And now we need to touch, so if we had that concussive blast, we could have blasted in. This is a little bit further than our effective range of barrage, unfortunately. If you're gonna barrage, try and barrage 2, because the chances are you're gonna die. So if you only barrage 1 person, if you barrage 1 and you live, it's fine. But if you're gonna barrage and die, make sure you try and get 2. And try and get a support, but it's not always possible. So I want us concussive blasting a lot more. It's a part of the kit we're really not utilizing for our own mobility. Nice try. Nice try.
Complete.
Stay
Ready
close.
for battle.
I can't hear you if you stray.
Yeah, I really want us in the practice range to every single day really focus on your movement. I think your movement with Pharah is probably the weakest part of your kit with her right now. And so the more you practice staying up in the air, moving around erratically, like understanding how Concussive Blast can move you, you'll start to be in a better spot as a Pharah player.
5, 4, 3, 2.
So I want us shifting up and then boosting up right here if you're gonna do that.
Stop the pain.
By shifting, I mean hover jets. Oh, like, how did we, like, we lost all our fuel right there. So if we hover jets up, using most of our fuel and then shifting, yeah, I can tell right there you were holding hover jets while you boosted, and so we're losing a lot of air. Hover jets up, then you stop holding the hover jets, you use your boosters to get up, and then you start hovering again.
Increasing altitude.
We could talk about like threatening angles, but I think if you can even keep playing main if you are threatening the right targets. I like shooting the turret there. He's a big threat to us. Ask for healing. Just ask for healing. A lot of the times the healers are not aware. So if you don't have I need healing bound to something easily accessible, I highly suggest doing it. Honestly, I have I need healing bound to up scroll.
Establishing aerial position.
I can ask for healing so fast. Okay, I don't mind this. I want us to make sure we get behind cover when we get pressured. Yep. I don't want us looking at the ball. I want us thinking forward. It's okay if we trade backlines. I want us shooting the turret here. It's the only thing that can consistently hit us. Yeah. That comes with just leading your shots more. As you're more comfortable, and the more you play Pharah, the more comfortable you'll be with hitting her shots and knowing the projectile speed. That's why I haven't really mentioned anything about aim. I do think you could aim a little bit like ahead of the targets a bit more. I see you trying to aim at them instead of where they're gonna be. But I don't necessarily want to talk about that when there are other things we can do to provide value. I think a lot of people underestimate how much pressure can do even if you aren't hitting your shots. If you're closing down a lane, if you're still doing like splash 20 damage on their supports every shot, it's still a lot of damage. Like they're going to have to reposition, they're going to have to not be in a position where they can hit their shots as easily. So it's like even if you're missing, I think that constantly shooting and providing pressure can still be very good. Great example is like people don't want to peek a Widowmaker even if she isn't hitting shots. People play differently when there's a Widow on the enemy team. Okay. We have to get a good barrage here, I think. Nice. Oh, yep. Careful of the deflects. We can find him. He's up top left. Yep. I know that was supposed to be for the Genji, but that movement is what I want from us in Concussive Blasts. That's good. I would rather us do it closer to the ground so it's even further for us, but I do like that it booped both the Genji and us back. Yeah, I really want us honing in on a target and making sure we assassinate them. Always kill turret. Yep. And this is nice. 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 You got her. Nice. We can get the ball here for once. Nice direct. Very good. So now I want us playing somewhere. I just want us playing somewhere, like, so where I would think is you could play right up here and kind of like hover right here and wait for them to push either here or there, and then you can go just be behind them. I'd also considering just playing around this pillar a bit, and so that way you could do some damage this way or down there, and then if you get pressured you can fall back and then do the same thing over again. If it's fine if we play where we are right now, if we have our mobility to get out, but I kind of know that we don't use concussive blast for mobility very much, so this is a scary position, from what I'm thinking. It's nice the ball didn't see you. Yeah, now we have to cross the turret. Yeah, exactly. That's partially what I'm saying. It's hard for us to cross, and if we used concussive blast for mobility, I don't think we would have died to the turret there. And like, I want us using it out of spawn because we'll get back faster. It's just little things like that that I want you to get used to using it. You can turn around and blast. That's what I do because it's just, in my mind, more consistent than looking straight down and blasting. I like that to get him off the high ground so it can be ours. I like that we stopped looking at the ball. Very nice. I like that we're focusing the Torb. Keep looking at Torb. You know he's low. Shoot the turret. Shoot the turret. I like that. I want us to make sure, like I told you, fire one shot before you do it. It's a very slight thing, so don't worry if you don't do it, but it's a good habit to get into. Very nice. That was also for mobility for us. I like it. Ball's always a hard target to kill. Boost up. Nice try. It's unfortunate we hit a sign. That happens. That also is unfortunate. So, you gonna swap? Nope. Okay.
60 seconds remaining.
Bothersome.
Okay. I mean, this honestly, this is kind of lost. If we get 2 picks here, it's maybe winnable. I like us focusing the Zen. That's nice. Yeah, this was kind of going into it. It was lost. I generally say this to people who are in the lower elo ranks, that I think that you should just pick one hero and stick with them until you get a little bit higher and you feel like you're getting countered too much. Pharah is a great example of this because you can play her into higher elos for a very, very long time. I mean, given the example I told you earlier that there's one guy who's literally #1 on all 3 regions with just being a Pharah and Echo player. So I do think that if you are going to pick a DPS player, that you should just pick them and stick with them, really. And then that way you can get used to where they position, how they play, getting used to the projectile speed, because that's something that takes time to get used to. And as you kind of build this strong foundation with the hero, you can start moving on to other ones, because a lot of things are interchangeable. Pharah is a little bit less so, but if you get used to, okay, this is a good position on this map, and playing Pharah for many hours on every single map, you'll kind of get the idea of like, this is a good high ground, I'm less pressured if I play here, I can play on these roofs and I'm less pressured, this is a good angle for me to try and get their supports who are generally going to play here. So it's just little things like that that you'll start learning as you play the hero more, which is why I really think that people, especially in the low metal ranks, should just one trick. Just one trick. If you feel like you're peeking out or you're having less fun, then I think then you could switch to a hero. But I do think Pharah is a great example of a hero to one trick. And yeah, I hope this was helpful. And let me know if you have any questions. Bye.